Hello, all the millionaires and multimillionaires out there. Welcome to the Millionaire This Year webinar for Four Corners Alliance Group. I want to send out a special welcome to all of you who are guests and have not yet either had the opportunity to get involved with the Four Corners Alliance Group, or you've tried, and because we were growing so fast initially, this is not hype, this is just the facts, we started crashing the servers. Many of you may have listened to the recording that talked about, hey, we're prepared for this kind of an influx of growth, and they were. The problem wasn't with the Four Corners Alliance servers, which have yet to reach even 1% of what they can handle. It had to do with the merchant accounts having too many cards being processed, since the amount is so incredibly small, $18 one time. So before I get started here, I want to let everybody know there hasn't been a presentation put together for this, and I haven't done it. I'm not giving you excuses or reasons. I guess I am giving you reasons, because I wanted to focus on getting in as many people as we could, focus on the enthusiasm, the opportunity for income, have done almost no research into the product, the company, and putting a presentation together that everybody can use and feel comfortable with, other than coming here and watching me do virtual ink all over websites and the whiteboard. But I will be putting together a presentation, and unfortunately my new presentation van wouldn't start, and so I'm without a vehicle this weekend, so I will be putting a little bit more effort into a presentation, and we'll have that together, or the initial stages of that, for the presentation here tomorrow night. I do want to highlight a few things here for you. I appreciate all the questions that are coming in. I always do Q&A, and so we'll definitely get to those. So don't worry if I'm not answering your question right now. I certainly will. Okay. Four Corners Alliance Group launched March 27th, 9 p.m. Eastern, as in 25 hours ago. We'll give you the bumps and the bruises along with it. Initially, it was 8 o'clock was the start time. Then the programmers were on the road, and they wanted to be there to overcome any problems, so they changed it to 8:30. 8:30 became 9 o'clock. So right off the bat, must be a cruddy program. They were an hour late with their launch. We had thousands of people wanting to, or chomping at the bit to get involved in this program. So some of the information I'm going to be telling you is information. You get to decide whether you want to view it as a startup or not, whether you want to make that important to you. I'm going to give you some information, and when it's opinion, I think you can tell when it's an opinion. When it's fact, you'll be able to understand that. Everything what I do want you to know is, you may have a different idea of what is important to you and what's important to the people you talk to. The main emphasis I want to get across to everybody is, this is $18 one time out of pocket. Yeah, sure, I understand if the cost doesn't matter, if you're doing something illegal or unethical or what have you. That I at least know that much. We're dealing with financial information from a company that has a record of doing that in a pretty good way. Now, the $18 one time, as soon as people hear that with experience in the industry, they say, well, if you're only paying one time, how can it be a residual program? If there's no new sales, there's no new money. Most of the time, that would be true. But before I explain that, I want to let you know The one thing I want everybody to know is this is $18 one time, and you can turn $18 into thousands of dollars. Even if you don't understand everything else I say, if I confuse you or you don't know the difference between generations and levels and tiers and all the MLM or networking jargon, none of that is as important as it's 18 bucks one time. You can run with that and make a lot of money with that small piece of information, even if the rest of it is confusing to you. So the reason I added out of pocket, as you can see right there below $18, is this is, I'm not going to say it's the only program. I personally, in all of my networking times, I've seen plenty of programs with upgrades and monthly auto ships or newsletters or some kind of thing that would cause people to pay every month. The amount doesn't matter. There's some kind of monthly cost. That is the same here, but comes out of commissions. All of the products within Four Corners Alliance Group, you'll be able to get without you ever reaching into your pocket again. And it's all automatic. Other companies have tried giving people the option saying, hey, the next level is 50 bucks and you've made $65. Here's your $65 commission. If you want to go to the next level, it's $50, and then hope the people gave, $50 of that 65 back. And most of the time, there's a fairly high percentage that did that. And then when they got to the higher levels, people started saying, well, hey, there's not going to be many people at 100 and 300 and 500, so people wouldn't go to the next level or as a much higher percentage. Here, it's automatic. You don't even get that choice. You can say that's a bad thing if you want, but here, there's no decisions. Upgrades are automatic. Even if people quit in their mind, their position doesn't quit. They can say, oh, that van guy's full of hot air. I'm not going to tell anybody about this. I'm going to take my credit card out of the members area. I'm going to tell, everybody to don't do this or what have you. That position is still there. There's no quitting, and it's still getting paid. One of the things that the company also does when we get to the website, and I base my webinars based on who is attending, and I know most of the people on here are brand new. Of course, everybody's brand new if they're in the program, but most of the people I'm seeing on here are already members. And those of you who just heard about this within the last few minutes, I promise you we'll show you some of this stuff on the website here. I'm just focusing on the getting started and realizing it's 18 bucks one time. So when everything is automatic, it takes decisions out of the picture. Lets people know it doesn't matter if they quit or if they tell 1 million people. That position is in the matrix, and there's no sales bonuses here. Everything is on the front end is what they call affiliate program. It's not multi-level. The back end is. The only time they get to make a decision is after that position has made $555. Then they get to decide, do I want the basic newsletter for $20 or do I want the platinum newsletter for $30? That's it. And that decision doesn't even come into play until they've made $555, which is the total cost for all 6 of the tiered products. And that's $10. Then the second one is also $10, then $25, then $60, then $150, and then $300. Again, those are all purchases. The newsletter is a monthly purchase out of commissions. $18 one time out of pocket. And the reason I'm emphasizing this is I've had a number of people come back to me and says, hey, Van, you said it was a one-time thing, and right there in the sign-up process, it lets them know saying, hey, you're going to have a newsletter to remain active and qualified for commissions, and it's $19.95. And they're saying, well, hey, you said this was a one-time payment. There's all these upgrade products that cost this much money. I'm going, yes, it's one time out of pocket. Those purchases are still happening, but it's from commissions. You can't get the level 2 product, it should be tier 2 product, until you've made money from tier 1. And let me rephrase that a little bit. You have that option. Anybody can come in, pay $18, go into the members area, and actually purchase all of the products right up front with their credit card. I don't recommend that, nor do I discourage it. And I don't think anybody has done that yet, because the system works without it. You're not bettering your chances for income by doing that, since when we get to the website, we'll show you how that pays through levels. So I got some of the questions that have to do with what I've already put up here, so I'll go ahead and answer some before we go to the website. Dallas is saying, what is the additional newsletter for? That's upcoming and ongoing information about the financial industry. That could be a number of different things, whether it's, what's going on with precious metals, maybe updates on some of the different investments that the company has recommended from the previous month. Let people know what's good, what's to avoid, any changes in the educational information that they got in the 6 tiers. Because, the world's always changing, especially in the financial industry. So what might have been a hot recommendation 2 months ago might be, something that you might want to, put on the back burner or get rid of 2 months later. So the information, since the information is always changing, the newsletter will have something to that effect. Okay. Got another person says, the person's tried 5 times and still not gotten to the credit card page. Dallas, I know, since I am your sponsor, get with me after the webinar here today, and we'll walk you through that, okay? That's on the join page. And for those of you who are guests and hearing this for the first time, if you do have your sponsor's website, while you're listening to me, go ahead and join. It is only $18, all right? I'm always going to encourage any guest that gets on this webinar, I'm going to push them to join with whoever invited them to the webinar. This is the fastest. We're already 24 hours old, and our team has already set ourselves apart as the fastest growing team in the company already, and we will hit 100,000 people on our team, paid members, within 90 days. Len says, if nobody really is able to quit, that is equal to no attrition. That's incredible. Okay, not a question. Outstanding statement. I like that. I hadn't even thought of it that way, Len. I love the way you're thinking. And I'm sure glad I sponsored you. 100% match, cha-ching. Way to go, Len. All right. Correct. Even if somebody does quit mentally, their position is still there, and it's going through the system. Okay, Ricky says, I've dropped everything to wrap my head around how all this ties together. It makes sense and is a no-brainer. All right, I'm glad you got everything wrapped up together. I'm looking forward to working with you there, Ricky. Thank you for that testimonial. Lorraine says, how does a sponsor sign up a new member? All right, if you do it on the phone, I will tell you this. For some of you who are signing people up on the phone, or you have a neighbor come over and they're signing up on your computer, it notices your ISP. And some of the people have taken that warning to where it says, hey, not ISP, but IP, where the computer says, hey, you've already signed up with this computer. Now, it is a one-person, one credit card. You can't use your credit card to sign up your brother, your uncle, and aunt, and that's to protect you from somebody stealing your card and going and signing up a whole bunch of people for $18 a pop. It will recognize that. But even though it says only one person per credit card, don't take that warning to mean it says, hey, you've already signed up with this computer, and that's true, but you're signing up somebody else if you just go through it. I've signed up a number of people on my computer and I get that warning every time, and it goes through all right. Now, that's not the case with the credit card. If you have 5 different credit cards, yeah, you can use that card for 5 different people. But one card, one person. You can sign up multiple people from one computer. So Lorraine's question is, how does a sponsor sign up a new member? You can send your link to somebody by email, by phone, put it in a banner, or you can just go to your website, and while you're there, let me go ahead and take us to the website here. Your screen's going to disappear for a second, and we'll go to fourcornersalliancegroup.com. We won't have anybody's personal website up here, and you can see it's just fourcornersalliancegroup.com. Now, when they go to the join button, the join button's on every page. We'll just pick one and say double your income. You scroll down to the bottom of any page, you see join now. We'll go to the frequently asked questions page. Go to the bottom, and you'll see join now. All right? So if I'm talking to Lorraine over the phone, Lorraine's already a member, but if she's a guest, I'm saying, okay, Lorraine, I go to my page, fourcornersalliance.com / and then the username goes there, and I just simply click on the join button and ask Lorraine the questions. Okay, Lorraine, what's your first name, last name, what's your email address you want to use, what would you like for username? And I said, what do you want for a password? Or I actually give everybody a password and then tell them, hey, you can go change that later, so they don't have to sit here and think about it. Security question, you click on yes, I understand that's the person that you're going to be your sponsor. And make sure you pay attention to that. Some people say, well, hey, I thought Jack was going to be my sponsor, and they didn't read that where it says, hey, your sponsor is going to be, Mary Lou. Then make sure you go back and say, well, if you don't know who Mary Lou is, so in this case, I'd say make sure that said Coach Van is your sponsor. Okay, Lorraine, go in there, put in proving that I'm human. Then the next page will go ask for credit card information. And you saw it says 18 bucks. Let me see if there's that other portion here. I think it might be on the next page. Yeah, you got $8 the enrollment fee, $10 for the product. Okay, it's the next page that says, hey, there's, a monthly requirement to remain. Oh, there's that warning. It says, your IP address has already joined. We limit the number of times a person can join Four Corners using this. Whoop, what happened there? Are we still here? Somebody let me know if we're still live. We just went black for a second. Okay, that's good. I got enough people telling me. All right. So it says you've joined here. Then it says you can't join with the same credit card. We do this for your own protection. So some people will see that in red. It says you've already joined from this IP address, and they think, uh-oh, I can't use my computer anymore. That's just letting you know. Then it says the next line is we track by how many people use one credit card, and it's for your protection. And again, it's Visa, MasterCard, Discover. Okay. Now, the other thing I want you to notice here is on the home page, this is a financial company that is adding a marketing arm to it. All right. Again, it's up to you if you want to consider this a startup company or not. They are starting something new with a company that is already established. I think they're five or 6 years old. Now, I don't know what everybody's background is, but as far as network marketing or MLM or online sales goes, this website is not going to jump out at people and, with big explosions and, all kinds of whoop-de-doo stuff that usually attracts me, lots of bells and whistles. Here, it's mostly just information. There's a few pictures here, but if you want to click on About Us, it is mostly information. Like there's David Harrison. That's just a new picture. That wasn't there, I think, yesterday. There's information about David Harrison. It's not him standing in front of a Maserati and a $3 million home. And if you go to the Making Money, you don't see, a bunch of people with money flying out of the air. It's a simple website. So when you do send people directly to it, if there's somebody that you know who's been used to going there and seeing Maseratis and houses and yachts and money flying through the air and all these different kind of things, tell them, say, hey, this is an $18 program. Downside is almost nothing. Upside is, look at these kind of numbers here, 76,000. This is on the residual side, 10,000. That's just without any sponsoring of people. So let me go back for our new people here to talk about the front end. And part of the presentation I'll be putting together will have a definition. Not that you have, again, you don't have to learn any of these things. I do it just to keep people, or to attempt to keep people from becoming confused. Let me get my virtual marker out here. All right, so the product level, this is the matrix. All right, now remember up front, this is affiliate. It is not MLM, and I'll explain that here in a second. All right, just the front end is affiliate. The product cost, since it's also based on levels, to keep from confusing people, I call this tier. And then I add another thing over here to put generations in here so people can tell the difference. Okay, so for this example here, this is you. All right, everybody you sponsor is your first generation. It's like if you have 10 kids, no matter what your kids do, they are always your first generation. One kid might go out and have 3 kids and they become your grandkids. Those are your second generation. One kid ends up in jail. One kid ends up in a millionaire. One kid's up somewhere else. Doesn't matter where they are first generation to you. Same thing applies here. So whoever you are, we'll say you sponsor Dallas. I'm using his name because not only because I'm his sponsor, that's also my son's name. All right. So you sponsor Dallas. Dallas is on your first generation. But let's say you took a while to get started and for whatever reason, your first 2 levels get filled up. So Dallas is actually here in the matrix. Dallas is on your 3rd level, but he is your first generation. All right, again, if any of this is confusing, just remember it's an $18 program, one time out of pocket with the potential for thousands, whether you understand it or not. So do you make anything when you refer somebody? There is no fast start bonus. There's no sales commission. When you're in the matrix, you get paid $4 for the 4 people who enter the matrix below you. Okay, that's the first tier product, which is $10. From that $18 that they paid, $10 goes to pay for the product. Those 4 people on your first level, does not matter if you sponsored none of them or you sponsored all of them, you get $4 times 4, which is $16. If your front line is spilled by spillover, you make $16. If you sponsor 4 people who go out and purchase right out of the gate $555 worth of product, you make $16. Because on the first level, you only make $4 per person. You make first tier commissions from first level people, regardless of who they are. So your first referral was Dallas. He's first generation. He's on your 3rd level. He hasn't made you a penny yet. Okay? Somebody else may have sponsored 7 people and their first level was filled. They could have 7 people that haven't made them any money yet. Okay? Notice I said yet. Now, when Dallas pays his $18, he gets the first tier product. That doesn't make you anything because he's on your 3rd level. Again, this doesn't pay multi-levels. So when Dallas came in, he got his first tier. We'll say here's Sam. Sam is right above Dallas. All right. You didn't sponsor Sam, but Dallas is now first tier to Sam. Well, you brought in Dallas. You made that sale. You referred him. Made Sam $4. Doesn't even know who Sam is, or Sam doesn't even know who Dallas is. And once Dallas makes enough money to go to the second tier, and we got Kim up here, Kim is going to make a $4 commission on Dallas because Kim is 2 levels up from Dallas. He's still your first generation. You haven't made any money in the matrix from Dallas because you're not going to make money from Dallas in the matrix until he gets the third tier, because that's where he is. Again, the people in the matrix do not matter who sponsored them. Your payment on the matrix only has to do with what tiered product they are. So once Dallas makes $25 to get the third tier product on your third level, you're going to get a $10 commission. Again, that has nothing to do with the fact that you sponsored Dallas. You're going to get that same $10 from 63 other people, whether you sponsored all 64 of them or you didn't sponsor any of them. You're going to get $10 per person on the third level who have purchased through their commissions the third tier product for a total of $640. So let's take that example here. Each purchase on the front end, you know, when Dallas did the first purchase, that $10, one person did a $4 commission. All right. One person, other person got a match on that $4 commission. Right here, we got 100% match. So from that $10 that was paid on the first level, one person got $4. That person's sponsor got another $4. So $8, 80% was paid out. No levels were paid, okay? When Dallas made enough money to get the second tiered product, that paid the person 2 levels up. In this example was Kim. Kim made $4. Sam didn't make anything. You didn't make anything. Kim made $4, and whoever sponsored Kim made $4. So with each purchase, 2 people are paid. Not up to 2, 2 people. Not 3, no other number, 2. Every purchase through commissions, again, remember, out of pocket, one time $18. All right. Now, can somebody go through and purchase all $555 worth of product right from the start? They can, but there's no financial advantage to doing so from just the compensation. Somebody might say, well, hey, I love these products. I read about them on the website, you know, the newsletter. I want to get them all now, and I want to get busy learning all this stuff. That's fine. If they're looking at it that way, great. They can get all the products up front. Compensation-wise, just within the compensation plan, they didn't increase or decrease their chances at all. Because like I said, if you go and sponsor 4 people and they all pay $555 out of pocket from Jump Street, your commission is still based on what level they are and what tier. Okay? So now when Dallas is starting to make money, he gets his first $4 commission from his matrix. You get a match. When he gets his first $10 commission in the matrix, you get a match. Now, where's that match money going? That's pushing you down through the different levels. So if you add this all together, I know I'm making a big, huge mess there, that comes up to $555. Now, how many people do you think would join Four Corners Alliance Group if we said, hey, here's a great opportunity to make, you know, $500,000 a month with a full matrix, and it costs only $555? If that's true, it's still a great deal. But are we going to have thousands and thousands of people chomping at the bit trying to step over each other to pay $555? No. Are the masses that are coming in from some of the third world countries to where even $18 might be a little bit of a stretch for them, but they believe in low-cost programs? who they can't even think about doing something for $555. For a lot of them, that's 6-7 months pay. So here at $18 and forced upgrades, people get to this. They're going to get all those products. And of course, the more people they tell, the faster they can get there, because when they get those matches, that match money is going to get to pay them $555. Now, once you've got that taken care of, all you got to worry about coming out of your commissions is $30 a month. Once you make $555, you can do that over and over and over again much quicker. But when you start doing it later, they're only keeping $30. So basically, you make $585 before you actually put anything in your pocket, because you're getting all of the products before you get paid. And you already have the momentum from the team going, because they can also sell this program for only $18 one time out of pocket. Now I'll take you to, this is part of the reason I'm saying I'm going to put a presentation together so you don't have all this chicken scratch going all over here. Let me take you to the newsletter. Okay, let me clear the whiteboard for a second and bring it back. Now, remember before I told you one purchase out of commissions generates 2 commissions. That's it. Whoever was on the proper level for that product being purchased from commissions, and the person who gets, that person's sponsor gets the match. Again, it doesn't matter. If Dallas made money, he's first generation in that example. Every time Dallas makes money in the matrix, you don't match the match. Every time Dallas made money in the matrix, and he can make up to $59,000 in the matrix, his sponsor gets that in addition to whatever the sponsor is getting. And there's no limit to how many people you can match at 100%. The matrix has a limit of the $559,000, but you can, everybody you sponsor is a potential $500,000 bill to you. I know there's no such thing. All right. Here, again, emphasizing, do you need to know the difference between an affiliate program and a multi-level marketing program? Absolutely not. We have an $18 program that's one time out of pocket. I think I might have said that once or twice already. This portion is MLM. This is what I was talking about before, that you do have a choice. You want to do basic for $20 a month out of commission, or do you want to do platinum for $30 a month out of commissions? So the reason, this is your more traditional MLM matrix, to where one sale is made and multiple people are getting paid. So if we take that same example here, we put Dallas down here, and he's on the 6th level. He's doing the $19.95 a month from his commissions. So the person, this person's going to get paid $1. This person's getting $1. This one's $1, $1, $2, $2. And that's a total of $8 out of the 20 bucks. People say, man, the company's making out like a fat rat on this one. Keep in mind, it's 100% commission here, or 100% match here too. So that $8, everyone of that person made $1. His sponsor made $1. His sponsor made $1. Her sponsor made $1. Another $1. Another $2. So this is actually $16, which is an 80% payout. All right, 80% of all of the purchases for the basic newsletter goes back out. So since that's 6 people are getting paid in the matrix, each of those 6 people have the potential to have a different sponsor. Maybe one person sponsored all 6 of them. Maybe each one of those 6 people had a different sponsor. So there's a total of Dallas paying from his commissions $20 and up to 12 people being paid. 6 to 12 people can get a piece of that $20 purchase that was made from out of pocket. The biggest difference with the platinum, not only are you getting additional and more experienced information with platinum, you're also picking up the 7th level. And you can see on the 7th level, you get twice as much money on the 7th level for 4 times as many people. So for just an extra $10, you get all the additional information of a platinum member, but look what happens to your potential. For $10 more, your potential went up $66,000 per month. How many people do you need to sponsor to qualify for $76,000? 0. That's just what you get for having a full matrix. So again, keep in mind, if you sponsor 5 people, each of those people who have that same potential to make 76 grand, you can make that 5 times. I'm not trying to hype or pitch spillover here. That's the potential. All right. So let's throw something out there a little bit more realistic. How many people are going to fill their matrix with absolutely no referrals? Probably nobody. It's possible, especially if somebody came in last night or you come in today, a few months down the road, you could possibly do nothing because our team's going to bring in 100,000 people. We'll probably have a few people that have close to a full matrix, maybe even a full matrix, and have no referrals. Not recommended, but I don't think anybody's going to complain about an extra $76,000 a month or even $10,000 a month if they're at the basic level, because they're thinking, I don't want to spend an extra $10. I can't get 20,000 people on my team. And they're right. If you can or you can't, you're right. So the platinum, I'm going to tell everybody, that's the only time I'm going to say spend the extra $10. If they want to pay the extra $555 right out of the gate, I'm not going to encourage them, nor am I going to discourage them. If they ask me what I think, and I'm going to base it strictly on the compensation plan, then I'll let them know there's no advantage to you to do that all up front. Because if somebody on your 6th level has the 6th tier product and you have $120 commission coming to you, but you've only purchased from commissions the 2nd tier, you get paid. You don't have to have, what I used to call in other companies, you don't have to have every widget to get commissions on all the widgets. Here, if you've paid $18 one time, you are qualified for the commissions. Now, once you're in 30 days, to stay what they call active, you have $20 to $30 taken out of your commissions. That keeps you qualified for all commissions. If you've referred one person, you got 100% match. You don't have to get, do 4 to get 50% and then do some more to 75 or anything like that. If you refer one or you refer 1,001, you get 100% match on every single person. Now, again, I want to take a quick time out to say, if you're a guest and you haven't signed up yet, why not? Only reason that you shouldn't have signed up right now is if you go to the join button and we're crashing the servers again, which we're not. So everybody should be joining right now unless you're already a member. Okay, let's see. We got some more questions popping in here. I'll go ahead and pull up the back to the presentation page. Okay. Dallas says, why are we not allowing you to close out without buying a new on a monthly charge? With my track record on signing anyone up, how will I make commissions? I'm guessing you asked that question before I just covered this last part of the presentation, Dallas, so I'm going to assume that you got that one figured. We have people who've already sponsored over 100 people. Only 4 people can fit on their 4th level, or excuse me, 1st level. So I'm not pitching spillover or selling spillover, but it's happening. I will always say it's better to create spillover than receive spillover. And once I do research into the product and have a better belief level there, I've been told the information, even if you never have any downline, you never have any referrals, that the newsletter and the financial information can make money on its own. Okay, we already answered that one. Don saying, where can I find a replay of last night's webinar? I'll go ahead and put that up here for you. And that's webinar.millionairethisyear.com. Okay, and that's where this webinar will end up also. Okay, Ricky. All right, that's a different. Ricky's saying 4 corners will be huge. I agree, Ricky. Excuse me. And it's going to get huger and huger. And then it'll be the mostest hugest. Okay, how's that for learning me some gooder English? All right, Len's saying, I guess all my chicken scratch wasn't showing up on the screen. Hopefully you understood what I was trying to get across. I guess maybe I was the only one that could see it. A lot of people are saying my pen's not working. All right, my pen's out of ink. Okay, crazy. I guess a lot of people didn't have questions. You just said. Lorraine's saying, how do you get paid on the platinum level? Same thing applies. It works as a matrix, but instead of getting paid through 6 levels, you're getting paid through 7 levels. And the levels do not have to be full. If you've got half of your first level and less on your second level and a whole bunch on your third or what have you, you get paid for each person below you in the matrix, regardless of how many people you've referred or in your matrix. If you got one in the matrix, you're going to get $8, and your sponsor will get $8. Okay. Don says, on last night's call, you gave the verbiage for an email text that is working. Where can I get it? I think I put that. Oh, that was the one that I think you're talking about, the one that Phil wrote. Phil, if I know you're on the webinar here, if you want to post that again, I'll read it out to everybody. If you're talking about the one that I sent, because I know I sponsored you, Don, you can, anything that I use, and Phil's the same way, anything that we use, feel free to copy it and even make it sound like it's your own idea. That is absolutely fine with me, and I'm sure Phil would feel the same way. Let me make sure Phil's still here. Yeah, Phil is here, and he'll cut and paste that, and I'll read it up here in a second. Okay. Richard, after the $555 is reached and the basic and platinum decision is made, how does one get paid as profits come in? You get paid straight, not to PayPal. Heck no. PayPal, huge red flag. PayPal does not like MLM. PayPal is not MLM friendly. And I will tell you this, I don't like to slam any other companies, but if you have any other companies, especially if it's a startup, saying, hey, they could have the greatest products in the world, greatest compensation plan in the world, but if they're accepting PayPal as a form of payment, you can bet money that that company is going to be either changing their account services or they're going to be closed down, because PayPal will hold all their funds. All right. So that being said, there'll be a number of different ways that you can get paid and have it go straight to a certain card. Those who paid through STP can receive their commissions through STP. STP is one of the ones that are used. Richard didn't mention Payza, which is good. Payza, I don't think has died yet, but it is not used in the U.S., and that's a Russian company. Even when it was AlertPay prior to becoming Payza, it was based out of Canada. So you will be able to get money put straight onto the card that you use to purchase with the $18. Okay. Let's see, mention. All right, Phil, this is from Phil. We were talking about a pay it forward concept that I'll be working into the presentation, but he wants to let everybody know does not cost $19 on only $15. For those who are using a green dot card, you can see immediate $4 back to your commission plus. That actually isn't correct because it depends on where they land in your matrix, Phil. But basically for less than $20, if you want to give this to somebody else, or if they want to participate in the program and just don't believe their card's not ever going to get hit again, well, use a Green Dot card that only has $18 on it, and when that 18 bucks is gone, there is no card to supposedly get upgrades and monthly purchases from. Okay. All right. I think we answered that one yet. Okay. More people telling me my pen doesn't work. Not sure what happened there. Okay. So all we need to be concerned with is paying the $18 and putting the site in front of people to hopefully sponsor, correct? Absolutely, except for the hopefully part. Just do it. One of the things I learned here recently, I've always been kind of picky about the word try, and I'm going to tell you all a quick little story here. While I was in Florida going to a conference, I won't get into the details of it, but I will tell you one of the other coaches there was trying to emphasize, how negative or how worthless the word try is. And so we were at lunch, and he just took a pen. I'm sitting here putting it in front of my, like you can all see me or something. He held out his hand and put his pen in his hand, and he went to a lady named Wanda who was having lunch with us. He says, "I want you to try to take that pen out of my hand." And so she really quickly goes and grabs the pen, thinking it was some kind of a magic trick or something. And he goes, "No, no, 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 no. You took the pen. I want you to try and take the pen." So he took the pen back, put it in his hand, and so she did it slower, went and grabbed the pen. He goes, "No, no, no. You're not listening to me. I want you to try and take the pen. You took the pen." And so she put it back, and she started putting her hands closer and closer. He goes, "Come on, try harder. You can do it. Come on, try and take the pen." And so as soon as she touched the pen, he goes, "No, no, no, you took the pen. I want you to try and take it." Then he kind of quoted, I think it's Yoda from one of the Star Wars movies, "There is no try. You either do or you don't." Remember that, and keep that in mind when you just talking about business or religion or anything, because think about it. How many times have you asked somebody to say, "Hey, can you make this webinar? Can you meet me at church Sunday? You want to go to the movies?" And they say, "I will try to be there." Translation, "I'm not coming." How many times has somebody told you they're going to try to do something and then actually did it? A lot of times, unfortunately, they say, "I'll be there." There's still probably a 50-50. All right? Get rid of that word. Do it or don't. Okay? I've been saying that a lot today. That lesson kind of gave me a way to share something that I've thought for a while. So thank you for letting me go off on that tangent, whether you wanted me to or not. Okay, Tom says, "Would help greatly to have a team co-op on a splash page." That will definitely be happening for people on our team, but everybody in the company is welcome to use this page now. It was mine initially, but it is now a generic page that just promotes the webinar, lets people know that Four Corners Alliance has launched millionairethisyear.com. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I am working with a company that'll be able to make this be our, anybody's domain that wants to use it to promote Four Corners Alliance Group, because that's pretty long, because even the domain, it spells out the word "for." But I've noticed, and it's kind of by accident, that Millionaire This Year, it gets people's attention. Whether they believe it or not, it gets their attention. So how would you like to have, tom.millionairethisyear.com and be able to get people to sign up for webinars and go sign up with you in Four Corners Alliance and come see me do chicken scratches and stuff on your behalf. Of course, again, I'm putting together a presentation for that. Okay. Robert says, "When will we be able to go in and see our matrix, tiers, generation, etc.?" If you're a member, Robert, you can do that right now. Just log in, click on your genealogy. You can see you have the option to search for somebody. You can see everybody you've personally referred, or you can go for a matrix view and see who's below you, whether you sponsored them or not. Okay, here's the email that somebody was asking about here earlier. This is from Phil. This is the one he's using. Just to give you an idea, Phil is frontline to me, so I'm excited about his growth and success because guess what? I sponsored Phil. I matched Phil. So if you want to copy Phil, especially if I sponsored you, because I want to match you too, but this is something that's working well for him. And I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to read it, and I'll tell you what's in all caps is, let me see if I can cut and paste this, if this will work here. I don't know if that'll, okay. It's not going to let me cut and paste it. I'll promise to have this on the whiteboard so people can copy it out. But in all caps, he has split-second automatic operation without the human failings of, and then in lowercase, delays, decisions, and emotions, exclamation point. All caps again. Nobody can bail, get cold feet, or jump ship, exclamation point. Everyone must and will, all caps, and it says put in $555 out of commissions, meaning big money in will get us big money out. So there's that email. And then, yes, Pastor D, this is absolutely being recorded. And thank you again, Pastor D, for coming on board with us. That's another person I'm very excited about being able to match 100%. Okay, Joel in Michigan says he loves that green dot close. 18 bucks, just do it. Okay, got a couple people saying awesome for Phil's email. A couple thank yous for you there, Phil. Okay, all right. Man, I'm going to have to start scheduling this for longer here. It's you know, doing a long webinar is easy. I can sit here and talk all day, but when you look at the numbers and realize people must really want the information, and it must be pretty good, because there is, you know, almost an hour into the webinar and there's more people now than when we started. So it doesn't look like anybody's dropping off. Does anybody else have any questions? Let me rephrase that. Is there any guest, somebody who's not paid their $18 yet, besides the ones who said they need to talk with their sponsor afterwards because of some technical issues, who have decided or who haven't decided to join yet? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Let me know what your concern is, or why you're not saying, hey, I want to join right now. What can we do, or what can I do for you to give you that warm and fuzzy to jump off this webinar and go spend $18 one time to take a shot at thousands of dollars per month with Four Corners Alliance Group? Okay, here's the first one. Kim, and again, I want to thank you for being bold and stating that you haven't joined yet, and you are asking the question. And I have don't apologize for your question. I have no problem answering any question, and it really is one time. All of those purchases come out of commissions. You have the option, Kim, to make those purchases out of pocket right up front if you'd like. And if it is a concern to you that you're afraid that maybe somebody's going to have your credit card information, if it's a security concern, then go ahead and get a green dot card, put 18 bucks on it, and use that. So it's going to be impossible for the company to do you wrong if I'm wrong, if I'm incorrect in any way. So go ahead and, you know, take an extra minute, go to greendot.com, see where the different stores are in your area. In my area, there's not a whole lot of Green Dot stores, but they're at their Texaco stations, Rite Aid, CVC, Kmart, a couple of grocery stores have it, and then, you know, you don't have to worry about it. I mean, we don't have to worry about it anyway. But if you've had, you know, some bad experiences in the past, or you're just worried about your own credit card security, go ahead and use a card that doesn't have any money left on it to charge. All right. Pastor D is saying this is unique and simple. Absolutely. Now we got some more questions. Okay, the team, the splash page people can work on millionairethisyear.com. When we do it, when we break it down to an individual, they will have an opportunity to opt into your page before they're taken to your Four Corners Alliance group. That way, those who don't join, you know who opted in, and you can follow up with them. Okay. All right. Ricky's saying, count me in. All right, Ricky, I believe you. Angie says, I just joined last night, have sponsored no one, but have $8 commission already from spillover. Hey, congratulations, Angie. Now go use that story to tell other people. Maybe they'll just come in to make $8. And one thing I want to, and I appreciate Angie for saying this here, is she just got started. She's letting everybody know she hasn't sponsored anybody yet. Is $8 any big deal? No. I mean, she hasn't even, she's not even shown a profit yet. But we just got started, had all kinds of hiccups with the servers crashing. Then the pages came back up, but then you couldn't join, or you couldn't even log in for a while. And I know this is going to sound weird. I would love to create another surge and crash it again. I know it frustrates people, but then we use that to let everybody know, hey, people are doing mad crazy to try to get involved in this. So thanks for sharing that, Angie, and congratulations. And, oh, by the way, I sponsored Angie, so that's another $8 for me, too. Cha-ching! Thank you, Angie. Okay, Robert, do you have a banner ad for Facebook or LinkedIn? Yes, that's also on the page, and I have that on my Facebook page, the one where it says Four Corners Alliance Group. Our team's going to be the first one to 100,000 people. Okay. See, Angie made a short little statement here. I've already got comments from Ricky, Mary, and Joe that's saying, wow, $8 and no referrals. That's awesome. Again, nobody's looking at this as a negative thing. They say, man, you've only made $8 in 24 hours and you didn't do anything. They're impressed with it. This is awesome. Phil says, Google Green Tree dollar stores, put in your zip code, and if you do it at a dollar store, it's actually only $1. So it'll cost you $19 to get an $18 Visa or MasterCard. The other places, they have additional fees to where $18 if you go to Kmart or a grocery store, could be $4 to $5 each. So it might cost you $23 to get an $18 card. So the dollar store is just that. It's $1. All right. Okay. Len says he joined 24 hours ago. First level filled with 4 and one on my second level, $16 made in 1 day. Hey, guess what? I sponsored Len too. Cha-ching! 100% match. Thank you. Oh, and Len, and he's also being humble here. That's all from Spill. So I'm going to say, hey, Len, go sponsor some people. Tell people that story and get them in making $16 too. And when we put that presentation together, I'm going to help everybody do that. All right. Okay, Len just said he will. He's going to start telling some people now. Fantastic. All right. Any other guests? I know Kim stood out there and was bold and asked the question. Are there any other guests who need some other information or they have any concerns? I'll answer any concern you might have. And I doubt it, but I'm not going to say it's impossible. Maybe, Four Corners isn't for you. All right. And I've talked with a couple of people today, and they took the time to explain why. It had nothing to do with me or the company or the compensation plan, and they were okay with that. Okay. And me personally, I'm trying to get everybody in, not because I want to make millions of dollars. I do want to make millions of dollars, but I want to be able to help people have an impact on their life. That's why I introduce everybody as welcome millionaires, because it's not the bank account. When you think like a millionaire, you'll start to do things millionaires do, then the money will catch up to you. So that's the first thing I tell everybody. Make that decision that you're a millionaire. Then start thinking like millionaires instead of getting a prosperous consciousness rather than a poor man's consciousness. One of the things that I've learned over the years, especially within the last few months, is people who are well off financially, not necessarily millionaires, but I'll just say millionaires and etc. When they see something their first question isn't how much is this, it's how much can they make, how much can they benefit from it. Because if they want something, the cost doesn't matter. If they can see that, say, hey, this Four Corners group, I really believe this can make me $500,000. And then it says, oh, it's only $20,000, I'm in. Because they see the result rather than the cost, where somebody else might go, man, I haven't ate yet today. You know, how much is this going to cost me? How much is it going to cost you is the opportunity to get out of the situation that you're in. That's what it's really costing you. And it's not the 18 bucks. Now, to do devil's advocate here, let's say you do put in the $18 and tomorrow you find out Van's lying through his teeth that Pastor D really isn't in the program, that you're really the only person on this webinar, and I'm just talking to you because I like to hear myself talk. And the company doesn't exist, or everything just folds up the next day. You're out 18 bucks. That's it. I'm not trying to talk people into spending $555 or $2,000 or more than that. I'm encouraging people to risk $18 and realize how little of a risk that is for the potential to have a 5- and 6-figure residual income in addition to helping you build any program you want. This is financial education. You haven't heard me one time say, you need to quit what you're doing, stop all of your other programs, and focus on Four Corners Alliance Group. If you want to do that, that's fine, but you will never hear that from me. I will never encourage people to say, hey, drop everything you're doing and focus on Four Corners Alliance Group. I have to. A few people said, take a time out from what you're doing for a few days and share this with other people so that they can get their $18 instead of going to a movie one time or getting one less pizza this weekend and seeing what that $18 can do for them. You've already heard from a couple people here today who have had they haven't referred anybody, and they've already made $8 and $16, and there's a whole bunch more of those, and that's only going to increase. And thank you for the compliment there, Pastor D. Again, Kim, I want to encourage you to get started with whoever invited you here today, and that goes for all of the guests. All of the members who have received spillover, congratulations on that. But do the best you can to be somebody who's creating spillover for others, and then see how good you feel when you're helping other people and they're coming to you saying, hey, thanks, Len, thanks, Lorraine, thanks, Angie. You know, I haven't even done anything yet. I made $8, I made $16, I made $24. That feeling is hard to explain until you felt it. Create spillover, not for me and not even for yourself, for the people who are below you, whether you sponsored them or not. If your front line's full already, like Len mentioned here, Len, everybody you refer from now on, your next person, your very first referral, you're creating spillover, and you're not only helping yourself, you're creating income for others. With every single sale you make, you are creating income for somebody else in addition to you. That's powerful when you can really grasp that. Help other people make money and watch what it does to your bank account. Good night, everybody.